Hello, my children. Your father has brought you a top secret new swatching video. Holo Taco just released a declassified 002 collection consisting of 4 prototype shades from previous collections. This is their second time doing this, and it's one of my favorite things that Holo Taco does because it's a behind-the-scenes look on their previous collections. I hope you've been fully briefed for this mission, and let's get into the swatching. First up is Camera Shy. Holo Taco describes this as a muted purple jelly base polish with a pink micro shimmer. I was honestly pretty surprised by its coverage on the first coat, as usually shimmer-based polishes need to be thin in order to achieve a greater depth in the shimmer. This polish feels like a spiritual successor to the much sought after Spirit Fingers from the Sophia collab. Stick around for later in the video to see the comparison. For this swatch, I got it to full opacity in 2 coats, but I would suggest a third if you're using thinner coats. As I said earlier, the Declassified bundle are prototypes from various collections that were released throughout the year, and this polish was a prototype in the recent Underglow collection, which was focused on a light, airy, and wintry color palette. While this is not confirmed, my headcanon is that the reason why the Underglow collection was 6 polishes instead of the typical 5 was because this prototype was split into 2 different polishes, each inspired by an aspect of this. I think the purple tone inspired Phantom Call, my favorite from the Underglow collection, and the muted gray leaning base with a micro shimmer inspired Shadow Lake. Overall, I can see why this one didn't fit the collection, as it is warmer than the other colors and honestly feels more impactful in this bundle as it stands apart from the other polishes. Moving on, we have Glazed Over. This polish is described as a white, iridescent, and opalescent micro shimmer, and let me tell you, I'm obsessed with this. First of all, I love white polish because it reminds me of all the times I would paint my nails as a kid with whiteout, but then the addition of the golden shimmer just makes me melt. As expected, it was fairly thin in the first coat, but I built it up to full opacity in 3 coats. On camera, it looked good in 2, but at low angles, there was still visible nail line, which warranted a 3rd coat. That said, polishes that have an opal effect tend to have brush strokes, and this one is no exception. It absolutely did not ruin the experience for me, but it was something I noticed in comparison to its sister, Swan Song. Also coming from the Underglow collection, this polish was likely not picked due to its warmer glow not matching the wintry vibes. I remember when Simply did a poll teasing this on one of her socials, and it was essentially tied with Swan Song, so that's probably why it was released in this bundle. That said, when directly comparing the two, there are some formula differences between the 2 polishes. Swan Song has some challenges with self-leveling and can look patchy on the earlier coats. Additionally, Swan Song is way thinner, and I needed 4 coats when I painted this on my other hand, and I still had a little bit of visible nail line. So all in all, even though Glazed Over was Glazed Over from the Underglow collection, it's ultimately a superior polish. And next we have Misfire. This polish is a burgundy jelly base polish with red metallic foil flakes and gold scattered hollow. And first of all, I was blown away by the coverage of this as it looked perfect in 1 coat. I did do a 2nd coat just in case I was too mesmerized by the sparkle to notice any spots that I missed, but I really think this could pass for a 1 coat polish if you're in a rush. And it breaks character a little, but I love this color. I don't typically lean towards red polish overall, but the metallic flakes in this feel like a cousin to the frosted metals, which is my favorite formula by Holo Taco. Plus, the deep burgundy color pulls it to a darker tone, which makes the scattered hollow stand out more, making it something that I want to wear. This polish was one of the options from the Birthstone collection for January, but Gosh Garnet was chosen instead. I think that is because the Birthstone collection very intentionally tried to mix up the formula for each polish, and texturally, this had some similarities to the November polish Topaz Tears. Ultimately, I like both of these, but I think Misfire pulls a little ahead for me because I can see myself wearing this one on its own, as opposed to Gosh Garnet, which I would probably wear as the base of a combo. And finally, we have Going Solo. This polish is described as a black crushed hollow polish with a blue iridescent micro shimmer. And I just want to take a moment to thank Simply personally for giving us a black crushed hollow from Holo Taco. And also the inclusion of blue iridescent micro shimmer is just perfect because it gives holographic polish, which is only really interesting in direct lighting, something interesting in indirect lighting. And also, we gotta take a moment to appreciate the coverage of this polish because it's essentially a 1-coater. I did 2 coats to make sure I didn't miss anything, but like Misfire, this one could be a 1-coater in a pinch as well. In case you don't know, crushed hollow is a specific type of formula from Holo Taco that has the holographic rainbow sparkle effect, but isn't super sparse like their scattered hollow or super dense and forming rainbow lines like their linear hollow. Crushed hollow got its own rainbow collection, and very sporadically we get other colors in the formula, and I'm so happy we finally have black. I also want to take a moment to appreciate the name of this polish because it would have come from the Rock Candy collection, which was a rainbow of crushed hollow polishes with a micro shimmer running throughout. The Rock Candy collection went for a colorful pop rock music vibe with vibrant colors and a white, so I can see why this did not match the upbeat mood of that collection. Although, after seeing this, I desperately want to see another crushed hollow rainbow collection, but this time with darker and moodier colors like this. And before we get into the comparisons, it's time for me to beg you for subscriptions. Only about 20% of my watch time comes from people who are subscribed, so consider pressing the subscribe button if you're into more kooky, zany, fake cowboy swatching videos. Okay, let's get into the comparisons. For each of these comparisons, I tried to pick the color in my collection that matched the best. And for reasons that have yet to be revealed, I'm going to do the comparisons in reverse order. First up is going solo. Since Crushed Hollow is a very unique Holo Taco formula, and this is their first black Crushed Hollow, I have nothing to compare to this, so I'm going to attempt to make it my own as best as possible. I began with Electrostatic, which is a black linear hollow, and then I added a blue shimmer on top to try to match the blue micro glitter. While the texture and intensity of the shimmer are way off, the vibes match pretty well. So not a dupe, but a vibe dupe, if that counts for anything. Moving on, I compared Misfire to Or Bite Me, which is a burgundy crushed hollow polish. The textures don't really match at all, but they do have very similar colors, with Misfire being slightly more saturated, likely due to the metal flakes brightening it up. So not a dupe, but maybe siblings? And next I compared Glazed Over to Memento Mori by Mooncat, which is a white polish with a warm shimmer. They have similar base colors, with Glazed Over being slightly brighter, but have significantly different shimmers, as Glazed Over is yellow and Memento Mori is orange. So once again, not a dupe. And finally, we have Camera Shy, which is a fairly unique polish in my collection, so I compared it to Spirit Fingers from the Sophia collab, as this is what it reminded me the most of. When I first saw Camera Shy, I thought it would be a clear dupe, but painting them on the swatch stick, it's very evident how different these colors are. Camera Shy has a very purple base in comparison to Spirit Fingers' gray base. Additionally, since Camera Shy was designed for the Underglow collection, which was focused on having a very smooth formula, it lacks the hollow sparkle that Spirit Fingers has. So all in all, surprisingly, not a dupe, but having these colors together made me realize the gap that Camera Shy fills in my heart. I've desperately been waiting for Holo Taco to release a series of grayish polishes with shimmer in each color of the rainbow, and it's finally complete. So folks, I present to you the Gray-nbow, as my husband calls it. Starting with Camera Shy is purple, Shadow Lake is blue, Alien Infatuation is green, Secret Society is yellow, and Spirit Fingers is the red. I know it isn't perfect, as Secret Society is way more brown than gray, but it's close enough to still make me happy. And wearing this, I do low-key feel like Thanos, though, with my Infinity Stone nails, so now that you've seen these polishes, let me know what you think. I feel like some people's take will be that they prefer these polishes more than the ones that went into the original collection, and they might be frustrated by that. Personally, I like them more too, but at the end of the day, I'm happy that I have them now, because that means I have more nail polish. Because honestly, more nail polish means more sparkly fingers to bring joy to the world. So I'm just happy that I have them. Okay, it's time to move on to the next mission. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye. Say bye, Titan.